viewers and everybody that's joining us live. Just let's jam it out. Starting the new year is off fresh. Check out the shirt. Everybody, get started. Get started. Get started. All right.
Get started.
Yes. So, thank you everybody for tuning in, and thank you replay viewers. I'm like super excited. I know that there's like kind of this uptake of like goal setting and like what to do for the new year. You know, we always, as society, we just kind of naturally go through this. So for anybody that doesn't know me, I'm Maureen Saladino. I'm an intuitive energy coach and spiritual strategist. So I kind of do two things. One thing is I help people understand their unique energy DNA. It's kind of like a thumbprint, but we have our own imprint within inside of us. Kind of, if you can imagine, like we have a birth chart where we all fall into the cosmos, well, we also have that energetically within us. So I help people really tap into their peak performances when they understand that. And then in spiritual strategy, I help people come out of the spiritual closet so they can be seen and get paid doing their spiritual work, because we need a lot more of us. So, today I actually get the pleasure of working with two of my favorite ladies. We actually did a group coaching together, and we're going to start with Kelly first, so I'm going to put her live. I'm just going to give a quick intro to this beautiful woman. So, a little background history. Kelly and I were actually in a mastermind together called Momentum Pro, which was mind-blowing. And I'm actually going to talk a little bit about that in my spiel, how important it is just to have an accountability sister. And if you can rock it with like 5 powerful, fierce women to keep your goals aligned, I mean, magic and mountains move, really. So Kelly is an entrepreneur. She's a success mentor and a designer who's passionate about helping people turn their true passion into a profitable brand. And she believes in proper self-care as the missing link in most business plans, and loves teaching people how to implement these skills in order to find balance in their lives while gaining the business results they desire. No more burning out before your dreams come to life. So with that being said, Kelly, the show is yours. I like the pink. She's all pink.
Awesome. Hello. Thank you so much, Maureen. I'm so excited to share the day with you guys, and just share a couple of tips of something I'm really passionate about, which is self-care. A little bit about me really briefly. I started my own business about 3 years ago, not intending to ever become an entrepreneur. I was happy in the corporate fashion world in Southern California and was far from my family, but I was chasing my dreams. And it came to a point where I just, was never unhappy with my job. I just felt like I had stopped growing. And I'm sure many people listening in today could relate to that feeling, whether it be with a relationship or, fitness is a big one as we're kicking off the new year, in your job. If you're ever getting to a point where you're just kind of feeling like, I don't know, like I could be doing so much more, I could be so much more, that's kind of the point I hit about 3 years ago when I started my first business, and I own a couple now. And the one that I love is to just teach entrepreneurs how to avoid the burnout that I was facing as I was growing my business. I was throwing myself into it, working crazy hours. I was able to go full-time and leave my corporate job, which is it was a huge thing for me, and maybe people out there listening would like to have that result as well. But one of the things nobody was really teaching me as I was, getting my mentorship online and, all the free downloads and all the cycle that we get pulled into as we're trying to put the pieces together, nobody was talking about how do you slow down and actually take care of yourself while you're building this business, while you're grinding and hustling and telling people about it, working on your product, developing. Maybe physically you send out products, which is a big part of my design collection. I was just tired, and I wanted to figure out why. So I set out on my own personal journey, because I always say, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to be very okay with being 100% honest with yourself and constantly looking at yourself as the key factor of if this is going to work or not. No matter what your dream is, you're the center of, if you see it in your head, you can make it come to reality, but you can also make it not become so. So I sat myself down and I said, okay, well, I have been wanting to take really good care of myself so I feel better. You know, I wanted to know, was the connection between me feeling better going to have an impact on the success of my business, or the numbers I was doing, or the clients I was able to reach, the quality of the products I was putting out there. I really wanted to always put out stuff that mattered. But what I found is, you know, there was something missing. Something that a lot of my friends who are starting businesses, a lot of my clients who come to me, they always go through this little thing when they sit down and talk to me. I don't know if they just don't have many people in their circle who are listening to the struggle. We have a lot of people around us who see the wins that we have, right? Like they think we're doing amazing things. They look up to you perhaps. You know, your family is involved. You've really probably put a lot on the line. But who's really listening to you when you're having your bad days? Because that's true in running a business, is you're going to have a lot of ups and downs. It's just part of the game. And so it's a mindset game, especially when you go full time, that you have to be honest with yourself. So sitting down, I said, okay, for 21 days, I don't know why that number just stuck out to me. I'm going to study and journal with myself. You know, I'm going to try 3 things each day that are specifically for my well-being. And I always encourage people to make a happy list. You hear that from other coaches, that you got to be in touch with what makes you happy. But truthfully, these things should be items that do not have anything to do with, you know, the business. It needs to 100% be things that are unique to you. Perhaps it's, you know, you enjoy going to get a massage once a month, or taking a walk in nature is really big. Taking a drive, that's one of my favorite things. Some of you are probably very creative, so making time for just writing poetry, working on your book, but not with nothing with a deadline in mind. So I promised myself I'm going to do 3 of these things each day, and I'm going to journal my, you know, whatever it is that I'm finding, because it was a total self-study. I didn't have anybody necessarily telling me what was right or wrong, and that's what I kind of liked, because it was kind of up to me to decide this feels good for me. And so in that process, it really, wow, it was so mind-blowing, so incredible to feel just in the first week how refreshed I was feeling. And it was even bringing up stuff like having me face fears that I was holding on to. And everybody has fears, no matter what age you are. That's why I know that self-care matters so much, no matter what type of business you're starting to build or what your dream is. And maybe it's you want to have more quality time with your family. Self-care also plays a big part in strong relationships in your life. You know, so that's something that truly transformed my heart and helped me to draw a very thick line in the sand between my business and my personal time, which a lot of times we give up that personal time. We try to multitask, you know, to the moon and back, adding more and more to our plate, you know, beating ourselves up because we're not meeting deadlines. Well, there has to be, you know, if you're going to be bold and confident enough to state that I have something to share with the world, well, you also have to see the opposite side of that is I have a responsibility to take care of myself as I'm doing this, because it's a lifelong, you know, thing where we're going to be learning about ourselves every single day in our business. You're going to learn about yourself as a human being. You know, entrepreneurship is wonderful because, you know, for some people, it's children. I learn a lot from children. They're sometimes my best mentors. But whoever it is that you're pouring your heart into, they also want to be able to see that you're taking care of yourself. Because if you burn out, as Marina said when she introduced me, if you burn out, your dream doesn't happen, and the world would not be as great a place without your message in it.
Absolutely. I love everything that you had to share. What did you do to shift your mindset game, Cal?
As far as which part of my journey, I feel like I'm shifting every single day that I, you know, wake up for my dream.
I guess what was the catalyst moment in where you were just like, you know, this is, you know, the drawing in the line of when you took this journey of 21 days of self-care? Did you continue the process every 21 days, or kind of where was the real the aha for how much this was really important for you?
There were multiple along the way. The journal actually has turned into a book that will be released in 2016. So there's not one specific aha moment, but there is an overwhelming feeling of peace in my heart knowing that I know myself that much better. And because I took the time to do a deep dive with myself during a time where a lot of things in my business were going right. It wasn't that my business was failing. It was just that it had been a really busy year, and I was feeling a little bit burnt out. So that was my catalyst of I didn't want to feel that way. And maybe I was a little bit more honest than others, and I know also in studying the different cultural differences and how we all view and were raised to see self-care, not often were we taught necessarily these principles and the value of slowing down and taking care of ourselves, because sometimes it's looked at as very selfish. So when I started my journey, I had no intention of you know, being able to create a book from it or a program that could teach entrepreneurs what I learned. I didn't know what I was going to learn. So every single day I got the benefit of learning something that was just, to me, transformational for my own life, but also in my business.
That's awesome. I love it. I love your journey. I love how some of the best things come just from organically, you know, trying it out, and it's like, oh my God, that's my aha, you know. And like you said, being an entrepreneur, there's a funny speech my sister gave me when I was going back to college for my degree, and she's like, it's a lifetime commitment. And I'll never forget the speech, because basically she didn't want me to start something and not complete it. And just some of the things, like, it was kind of like a block, like, can I really complete this? Do I really want to complete this? So that was my speech of the journey of me and my education of that road, and I was like, yes, it's a lifetime commitment. So because I know that you have to run, and I appreciate your time, what would you say for the newbie that's starting out with self-care, or maybe has never even, like, you know, I posted flowers today on Facebook, and I was like, I'm saying, like, I love me, like, I love you to me. And I was like, wow, I've come a long way, because it felt very strong in my convictions that I was buying this to say I love you. And I was like, I wonder what people are going to think of that. Like, are they going to think I'm selfish? Are they going to think I'm conceited? But it really is, like, you know, as I kind of channeled the message last night for the new year, like, I really feel this is the year of self-care, self-exploration, and really awakening that deeper calling, even deeper than we already have within of us, and just really just stepping out and shining, even if it's not perfect, but just getting out there and doing something, which is why I love the self-care piece, because I know I can get burnt out, and doing spiritual work, man, you need to simmer down, you know, like, I'm coloring, you know, I'm doing all sorts of things because I'm more productive. So yeah, for the newbies out there, what would you say, like, how do you get started with self-care?
Sure. I'm actually going to share a tip that I think can relate to new beginning business owners and also seasoned. So if you've had a business for many years, you know, my greatest lesson in teaching this is that most of the time, a motivated person who has a lot on their plate and in their life will not understand the importance of self-care at first. So what I would advise is just to know that right now the way that most entrepreneurs think is very task-oriented, goal-oriented, get stuff done. And I encourage everybody to consider self-care, and even in small doses. This could just be enjoying a cup of coffee with the phone turned off for 15 minutes, you know, something very easy each day. But you need to be able to train your mind how to shut off and do things that have no outcome to them at all in regards to your business. That cup of coffee, it could easily be while you're on the phone doing a business call. But does it need to be every single time? No, we are you know, motivated enough to run a business. We need to train our mind also while we're taking in the business podcasts and the webinars and working with our mentors. We also need to be flexing that muscle in our mind of self-care, in knowing that if I'm really going to reach the tip top of the mountain, as big as I see my dream getting, there is going to be physical and emotional things that will happen to you to test you every single day. So self-care will help in making those less up and down, you know, avoiding the emotional side of it and taking the time to just have fun, like, you know, remembering what it's like to be a child. And like you said, coloring, there is nothing, you know, who, you know, nobody's going to necessarily buy my colorings if I get a color book, and adult coloring is very big right now. As you said, it is the year of self-care, and this may be the first time that this concept is being introduced to some of the people who are viewing this today, but it's going to be something that our society, as we shift over the next 5, 10, 15 years, and more people are running businesses from home instead of going to a 9 to 5, there's also going to be this need to slow down, have more quality time, check out from social media once in a while. This is the transition that our country especially is going through right now, from the very busy and generic kind of box-made companies out there to small, grassroots, people-to-people connection, and also taking very good care of yourself and just having fun. That's what it's about. You just have fun and don't attach anything to it.
I love that. Karen, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I love everything that Kelly said. I think that was amazing, perfect, so important. That I'm going to be probably building upon what she's talked about, because I really feel that everything's about fun. Everything is about fun. It's really, when you start to understand that you are bringing your energy to everything, the more you bring fun into your business, into your family, into your relationships, into everything, the more your life becomes a masterpiece. And you are the artist of your beautiful life. And now we all get these amazing new canvases with beautiful paints and brushes. And what are the paints and brushes, really? There are making sure we drink good water, and we have nice cups of tea during the day, and we tune into our angels, and we tune into our angelic helpers, and we tune into our, you know, taking the time, take our shoes off and walk through the grass and connect with Mother Nature and bring ourselves back into balance, because that's the key in self-love, is balance. And I don't think self-love is selfish. I think self-love saved my life. You know, when I became sick because I was constantly addicted to adrenaline and cortisol. I didn't even realize how much I was addicted to it until I started slowing down. The doctors said, "Here, you have to take this, and you need to stop for a whole week." And I was like, "What? I can't stop? I have to save the world. I can't stop." You know? And it was just so funny, because the doctor was like, "I'm going to tell you right now," and I'm a dog trainer. I'm a conscious dog trainer. And he said, "I'm going to tell you right now, what I want you to do is I want you to treat yourself as nicely as you treat your animals." And he goes, "I want you to, every time you give your animals a snack, you take a snack. Every time you give your dogs a drink of water, you take a drink of water. And you make sure that everything that you're doing for yourself, too." And when I started doing it as a ritual, like I really did, I started doing that as a ritual, I started paying attention to what was really missing was the self-love piece. You know, I mean, I was totally doing all the work, but I wasn't, and I was having fun with doing the work. There was no problem with that. I didn't realize I even had an issue. And when I passed out at a book signing, so, you know, I had a seizure at my book signing. So it's obvious that I hadn't been taking care of myself. And I had gone through this big, huge book launch. You know, I'm the best-selling author of Global Kindness Going Viral. And when you know, I was able to share the hashtag Global Kindness over 20 million times in one day, and we were able to take it viral. We were able to do, but it took so much. I mean, it literally took the life out of me. And my angels and my guides had a real good sit-down talk with me and said, they had a real sit-down talk with me and said, "Listen, you have exit points, dear girl. You have an exit point showing up right now. You will leave this plane if you don't start taking care of your physical body. You are a light being. You are. I'm so connected to the higher frequencies and the higher vibrations that when I come back into my body physically, there's like a shift that needs to recalibrate, and it needs to be grounded in. And so, and that was a huge wake-up call for me. So yeah, I totally agree with everything Kelly said.
So Cal, I know that around 220-ish or 120-ish your time got to scoot out, right?
Yep.
Do you mind talking about your 21-day challenge that you're about to do?
I would love to. So as I said, I took what I learned in my own 21-day challenge, and I've created a program for $21, so it's $1 a day, and you will go on kind of a journey of your own, but I'll be there coaching, and you'll have access to my self-care Facebook group as you're going, so we all learn together. It's going to be very simple every single day, because I don't want anybody to come into the challenge thinking it's going to be more on their plate, especially kicking off the new year, but it's going to be very simple things each day that help you start to train your self-care muscle. And I'm really excited about the timing. We're starting it actually on January 25th, 2016, and it's running, the 21 days actually ends right on Valentine's Day. So we're going to have a big celebration of love on the biggest day of love of the year to congratulate everybody. It's going to be fun connecting with other, people who also want to go on this journey. And so right now, anybody who visits my website and purchases their virtual seat, because this can all be done from home on your own time, you also get a free seat for a friend. So all they do is visit ladybosslifestyle.com and click on shop, and you can pre-register for your seat for the 21-day successful self-care challenge with me.
If that's not cool, guys, I don't know what is, seriously. Kelly's amazing. I love everything that she does. I mean, like I said, I bring her in to speak to the girls of our group coaching, and she always rocks my socks every time I get to hear her speak. So I think that's even cooler. You get to bring a friend, so you get to bring your accountability partner. That's really, really awesome. So just because I love, and I just love, Karen, I'm going to gift this to you so we can do it together with Kelly.
Yay! I was just going to ask you.
Yay!
So I'm going to gift that to my homegirl because I always think that, even...
We just had a conversation about this, the accountability.
Yeah, not only accountability, but, supporting your sisters, women empowering women. And, Kelly could quickly have just said, hey, Marina, I just really want you, I'm just gifting this to you, but I really want to support her and this $21 a day, and then I get to bring a friend. I mean, it's like $11.50, right? Or something.
I'm so excited. It's going to be great having you ladies in there, because you bring so much love and energy and support. That's really a gift in itself for the community that I'm putting together, and I'm so thankful that you guys will be there to just share in the journey.
It will be cool. I'm really looking forward to get to learn from you because, sometimes, and Cal, I understand if you have to hop off, but sometimes even for me, I got sick this past October, November. I was in the hospital, and I could not, and then I kept on getting sick, and I just could not recalibrate, and it was talk about the universe giving you a funny sign. I took the leap, and I left my job, and then I had a week, and then I was sick, and I was like, it's not supposed to go down like this. I have all these things set up, but in reality it did, because the stress of taking the leap, because I wasn't leaping, I kind of got pushed off the ledge, and I was like, I'm going to make this happen, but that transition really took a toll inside. And so now that I, quote unquote, I'm back, Karen invited me to it was so much fun. We did a Pass the Reading scope last night.
We're going to do it every Wednesday. Wonderful Wednesday.
Yeah, and it was just there were so many people commenting. I don't even know how Karen does it, and I was just like, okay, hold on. And it was just fun. It was fun to be back. It was fun to connect back to the audience, and it was just, and I realized that if I'm going to go this time around, that additional self-care, I've been coloring. I have, and I'm going to talk about just different spiritual stuff that I do for the New Year's. But, my saying is I'm committed to staying consistent in 2016. I've kind of had I heard that 2 weeks before the New Year, and I was like, that's it. It's consistency. but not only consistency in the social media and connecting with your audience and your people and your tribe and your friends, but really being consistent with how you love yourself. Like I have I'm making something new, but I have a check yourself before you wreck yourself, like a little sign in my office, and it's like a checklist. Like if your vibration is starting to get lower, and it's like, have you hydrated? Did you eat? Do you have a snack? And if you're gonna have a busy day, guys, make sure that you prepare. You put healthy snacks in your fridge, and you can just go down, grab a little snack pack, come back to your office, whatever that looks like, or take a walk around the block. So yeah, but sometimes you're so in it, and you're just like, one more piece. I just need to design this one thing, and the sales copy, and then you look at it and it's not quote unquote perfect, and then it's just like, okay, next thing you know, you just totally forgot lunch. And then a client calls, and you're like, oh man, it's 10 o'clock at night, and you feel like you accomplished stuff, but you didn't. And so what I can do is, Karen, can you do your sign for the Raise Your Vibe Tribe?
Yes, I can.
So if anybody, everybody that's watching, please go to the Raise Your Vibe Tribe. It's on Facebook. This is Karen's tribe. It's a wonderful, beautiful community. I just love the name.
You need to click on my box. Click on my face.
Okay. Oh wait, you're on.
Stay on me.
You're on.
Okay. It's just if I stop talking, it'll go back to whoever's talking.
Oh, you're on though.
Okay.
So, I got you. I understand.
Okay.
I was interrupting.
No worries.
Just
making
sure. I see the errors of my ways. So yeah.
I'm the Google Hangout. I gotta correct it. I gotta just if we can make it better. Hangouts rock, but you got to use them and utilize technology for a greater good.
Absolutely. So yeah, if anybody has a question that's watching, particularly if you're watching from YouTube, anything for Kelly.
And they can join the Facebook group. They just have to ask to be a member. So I'll just add them right away.
It's super, super, super easy.
Can I just say a quick thing about it?
Yeah, well, actually, I was going to pass the mic to you because I know I
just wanted to let people know what our Raise Your Vibe has grown like exponentially. I started it in September, and it's a dream incubator for anyone who has a dream, who has a vision. We hold space for you, and we ask you to share your dream, and then we take it as a dream incubator, and I give you all the tips and strategies and free videos and all kinds of things that are going to help you to love that dream into reality. So we are creating the superhero survivor tribe, and there has been just the most amazing people and miracles have just been happening since I started it. And it's just a matter of really getting clear about what your dream is, and then having somebody hold your hand through it. So that's what Raise Your Vibe Tribe's all about.
Love it. I'm bouncing off, so I'm gonna just I'm gonna post a thread in the Raise the Vibe Tribe in case anybody has something.
You got it on me. One thing I want to tell Kelly before she leaves, because I know she's on a time constraint. So one thing that I wanted to share for a ritual that I do every New Year's Day, and that I highly recommend you add this to the self-love, because it's such and not just self-love, but for just to make the world a better place, is to really get yourself a nice big jar. Right? Get yourself a nice, big, beautiful jar, something that makes you really happy, right? And then take that jar, and on today, I've started you take little pieces of paper, and I said,
we didn't plan this, by the way. We did not. I was actually on I have a box.
Yeah. So what you do is you write on little pieces of paper things that made you happy in the day. Just one thing that made you happy. You can just do one. I did 3, actually, because I wrote being with my soul sisters, So
Me too.
I put that in my little beautiful jar, and I love having beautiful jars. I think next year I'm going to design a jar special for it and paint one and do something special next year. But then I said joining the 21-day self-love.
Woohoo!
And then starting, I just got the hashtag Peri Spirit Scopes. I just got the hashtag, so we're going to do Peri Spirit Scopes where we pass the readings, and so that and then what you do is you put all of this in your jar. Every day you find something. Now this is another opportunity that you could do is you could do a random act of kindness. And you could just pick right on your little thing. I'm going to do, because I'm the queen of global kindness. So I do acts of kindness all the time just because I know that it raises my vibration, first of all. It actually releases endorphins in my brain, and I have opened up new neural pathways in my brain. So now all I think about is kindness and goodness. That's all I do. You talked about the 21 days. The reason that 21 days it stuck out to you is because after 21 days you open up a new neural pathway in your brain. So you actually are starting to, that's how you enforce a new positive habit. So, and then on New Year's Eve, the tradition is to sit down with your loved ones, open up your jar, and just start reading all the different things that happen throughout the year. And you can do that with your kids, and you can do that with your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You can do it with anybody, and it really just enforces when what we focus on the most expands. So if we focus on being happier this year, you're going to look at when you go back over New Year's Day, you go back for next year, 2017, and we do this again because this should be a tradition. Then we get to, have that experience.
I love it.
So isn't that funny that you were going to do the same thing? We didn't plan that, you guys.
Nope, no planning. Just great minds think alike. I love this ritual. Actually, well, I'll talk you, Karen, because I think that you're a great follow-up to Kelly, and then I'll just bring down the house. Okay. So, and even if you want to share your meditation, I just feel that the direction of where you're going, and I'll build on top of that. I think that would be a good combination.
Introduce me, or should I just introduce myself as who I am?
You're so good at introducing yourself.
Well, I am Karen Palmer. I am AKA the Mindful Media Mom and the Queen of Global Kindness. I am also an angelic healer, and I use my gifts and vibrations to help make the world a better place. I have been working with visionaries and light workers and change agents to help them love their dream into reality. I am so honored and grateful to have been able to create my dream life. I've gone from being a homeless, having drug addict issues, I'm a survivor of domestic abuse, and I went through a lot of low self-esteem issues. In my teens and in my 20s, I was in very violent relationships, and I attracted all of that. And then I learned the universal laws of how this world works. And I took myself from a homeless drug addict to living, I've been happily married 20 years. I have a beautiful 19-year-old daughter who's living her dream life. I have an incredible nonprofit business that I have created and am growing and expanding that helps bring mindfulness, environmental education, and animal advocacy to the schools. So if I can do it, you can do it too. So that's why I was born awake. I have been hearing angels and being able to talk to animals since I was a little girl. And I had this gift when it all kind of expanded and exponentially grew when I found my spiritual mentor, who was here with me in the physical for 14 years. And when she left her physical body, It was like the Force from Star Wars. When she left her physical body, the Force went into me. And my spiritual gifts exploded exponentially. And my third eye opened up. I'm a Kundalini yoga instructor, so I teach ancient wisdom for modern times, and I teach you to connect with the magic inside of you. So that's basically what I do.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
So what I wanted to get into just a little bit about why my ritual is something that is so powerful. I love to do two things that are that I have made like total have to do for myself, and that is, number one, I create a plan. I get really super clear, and I go over everything that I did last year, starting from January, and I look through. I keep a journal every day anyway, so I look through my journal and I look at what were the things that I learned, and what were the things that I can tweak, and what are the things that I can hack to make things a little bit easier this year. So I start to pull that all together, and then I start to create my plan of action, which is my focus, which I love to share with you how I do that. The focus is, it's the acronym of focus, right? So if you look at F, can you see that okay, guys?
Yeah. Go down a little bit lower, Karen.
Okay, so if you look at F-O-C-U-S, focus, right? So focus, F, is for fine-tuning my master project list. So when I do a master program list, when I do my master project list, now I'm working on Global Peace Week Summit, and Maureen's helping me with this, but I have a huge thing that's going to explode in January, you guys, and we are taking Global Peace viral this year. We're taking Global Peace. We did Global Kindness last year, but we're going to have Inner Peace for World Peace. And we're going to use our voices, and I'm working with several different social media experts and incredible people who have shows and are doing periscopes, and we're going to focus only for one whole week on global peace and all the good things that are happening in the world. So when we do that, that's focus, right? What we focus on expands. And I highly recommend you guys see that movie Tomorrowland, if you haven't seen it yet, with George Clooney. It's all about what I get in my visions. It's exactly what happens to me when I astral travel, and I actually get to see what is possible, and that's why I'm a spokesperson for what is possible for our world, and I feel really honored to be that, to be a voice for the voiceless, to be able to help animals and children in a way that now I've suffered in silence, you guys. I lived my life terrified to speak, and now look at what I do. I mean, if I can do it, you can do it too. And Maureen and I are here to hold your hand. We have a mastermind that we're creating that's going to be total support for you, and we're so excited for you to be able to really get focused this year and totally manifest your dream life. A dream was placed in you for you to achieve it. That's the reason that you've had this ache in you, this dream in you. It's why it's there. It's not for you to just push away and say, oh, I need to just get a job, a J-O-B, you know. It's not. It's about really that dream was placed in you. Every dream deserves to come true. Every dream. And then when we have a world that is filled with people working their life purpose and doing what they came here to do, we will have heaven on earth. It's why we're here. It's why we physically came here as spirits to experience this human experience as a body, as a human body. So the first thing is focus, is fine-tune your master projects. So what I said with that is do a brain dump. So a brain dump is something that you, I'm going to hold this up real quick, but a brain dump is when you pour out all that's in your brain and you pull out all those little pieces of paper that you've been writing on and all the things that you've written down in your phone and all the things that you've been, you know, doing to have all these amazing ideas, and you put them all in one place and you do a brain dump and you start to create one master list from that. So you create that one master list from that. And then you do this by taking together and putting together a map. So can you see this okay, Maureen?
I can see it. Yeah, okay, perfect.
Okay, so look at the map, you guys. This is the map, and I'm going to walk you through what I do. So what you want to do is, number one, you want to take a piece of paper and you want to make 9 squares like this. You want to make 9 squares, and then you want to do, your first part is going to be ASAP Biz. That's going to be your you can do this however you want to do it. This is how I do it because honestly, if I made ASAP personal, I would not get my biz done. So I make ASAP Biz first. And then I go down to my speaking opportunities. So I list off what's the most important things that I need to do in January. This is my month of January. So then I write down what those projects are going to be. Then I write down where I'm going to do speaking opportunities. Then I write down my reading list. My reading list is where I'm going to take classes or learn what I need to learn so that I can teach. The next part is my ASAP personal. So then I start to say, okay, I'm making a commitment to myself. I told this to Maureen too. 2 hours a day of being creatively artistic. That's either singing or playing my piano or playing my ukulele or coloring in my coloring books or painting. It's 2 hours. I'm making that a commitment. I'm not going to be on social media. I'm making myself a commitment. Those 2 hours are not for anybody but myself. Then I start to look at my writing projects because I'm working on 3 new books that I'm going to be publishing in 2016. And I'm doing this awesome book, you guys. I'm writing a novel that's going to be like a sci-fi of my life. And it's going to be like a science fiction fantasy book. But it's really the truth. It's really all what really happened. So, and then I take a list of the courses that I've bought that I need to learn that I have in my stupid computer that I haven't even looked at because I bought it because I had shiny object syndrome. So that's my list. I make a list of all the courses that I'm going to be, and I take down like 4 of the courses, and then for that month I do 1 a week. Then I do my main project. Then I start my marketing ideas. So you see, I start over here with my brain dump idea, my main project idea. Then when I get to that main project area, I'm really dialed in to what I need to do because I know what my speaking opportunities are going to be for the month. Oh, here comes Fergie. Say hi, Fergie. Hello. Hello. This is the kindness kitty. This is Fergie.
Hi, Fergie.
You say hi. That's Fergie. She's our kindness kitty mascot. I call her my kindness kitty mascot. So then you want to go into your marketing ideas. She loves my energy. She's going to jump in my lap again. So we go into the marketing ideas. So you want to make a list of your marketing ideas, and then you want to get down to the someday maybe. That's your someday maybe list. So you see how you can fine tune a master project? Like Maureen and I had a really great conversation, and we talked about, you know, how I can optimize my website and how I can do all the things that I need to do. And so I started to create my lists, you know, and I was like, okay. Then I asked my angels, this is what I invite you to do too. I ask my angels to help me to get more focused, to help me. So when what you ask for, you receive. So it's really important that you ask specifically what you need help in. So they told me the one piece that's missing for me is focus. And so that's why I started to, I said, okay, well, what do I do? So that's when I started writing this stuff down. So the O is optimize your email. So optimize your email is automate. Automate everything. Make everything easy for you. Make everything as easy as possible, and utilize your calendars that are in the computer. Utilize technology. Make things easy and productive for yourself. Number C is concentrate on what's essential now. Now, what do you need to do today? Like I made out my my planner, and I know what I need to do today. I blocked off the 2 hours for this, and then I'm going to do my Periscope at 5 o'clock. So I have to be prepared and have my lesson ready for that. Now, those are the essential things that I need to do now. So I start to, and then I unplug. I unplug and I take time to recharge. I get away from the computer. I go out into nature. I go feed the ducks, or I go play with the puppies. You know, my job is playing with puppies, so I'm really lucky because I get paid really well money to do to train puppies. And I highly recommend, if that's something that you're called to do, that you follow that calling, because I only had one dog when I started my business. I had one dog and I had a dream. And in 4 years, I have grown an empire. I've grown an empire, global empire, in 4 years. You can do it too. You just need to watch the steps. You just need to pay attention. So the next thing is S, is streamline your media systems. So streamline everything, streamline it all, make it simple and keep it simple. Just like Maureen says, keep it simple. Keep all your media simple. When you start to post in Facebook, or you tweet on Twitter, or you write onto Instagram, make sure that you are a very, very emotionally, vibrationally aligned with what you are promoting. What you have to really understand that when I don't like automating on Hootsuite and Post Planner and all that stuff. I really like to tune in. What is the message that I want to share for the day? I get a message from my angels, and then I share it in the Raise Your Vibe tribe. You know, I don't go on to my Periscope show until I am tapped in, tuned in, and totally ready to be a light in the world. If I don't tune in and tap in myself, I'm not any help to anybody else. So anybody have questions for the focus? Raise Your Vibe tribe on Facebook. Yep, that was cool. Where'd that show up? How'd that show up?
I don't know. I just figured I would that.
That's awesome. So yeah, so that's basically what and then another thing that I wanted to go over, another thing that I do is I wanted to do a meditation with you guys. Would that be okay to do a meditation? Would we have?
Absolutely.
Is that a good idea, Maureen? So this is what I do.
I'm going to mute myself so there's no background noise, so you can do your jam.
And the other part that I do is I make a vision journal. So I get a notebook and I write, this one says, believe with all your heart and soul that anything is possible. Always remember to be grateful. So I make a notebook for myself so that I can keep a vision journal. And then I use this for all my dreaming, all my big dreams. And I keep it all in one place because my guides give me divine ideas and I get divine inspiration constantly. And it's like overwhelming. And I don't put that onto my chart because I keep that into my dream journal. So that's your chart, you guys. That's where you stay focused and that's where you stay productive. Your chart is your chart. That's where you stay focused and that's where you stay productive. But then you got to have your little playbook. You got to have your fun. You got to have your dream journal where all those big dreams that are coming to you, you need to write them down. You don't just let them float away, because what happens is that's universal energy, you guys. So when do you ever go into As Seen on TV store and you see something and you go, fuck, I would have made that. I should have made that. I should be a millionaire. I had that idea. The only difference between a millionaire and a billionaire is action. So we all get the divine ideas. When we tap in, we tune into source, we get the ideas. That's divine energy. But it's the people who take the action steps. Well, how did I become a best-selling author? I took action steps. I learned how to sell books. I learned who wants my books, and I learned how to have my ideal readers find me. And that took a lot of effort, and it was a process. And I know how to teach everybody how to do it now. So when Maureen publishes, she's going to just be like a bestseller, like off the charts, because I'm going to be able to help you and hold your hand and give you all the strategies and tell you exactly how to do it, so you can do it inexpensively, first of all. And that you can do it where you are utilizing technology. Technology is amazing, you guys. And when you start to utilize it and you really start to learn how to use all of these combined with ancient wisdom, this is what I'm saying. People look at me and say, I don't know how you do it. Well, it's meditation, visualization, and action. That's it. So does anybody have any questions for me before we do the meditation?
I believe we are good to go. It seems
do we have anything in the Facebook group? I was on here seeing if anybody had anything to say. Does anybody get anything to say?
No, it seems like we've done a really good job of exemplifying clear, concise strategies. Focus, vision journal, which is all great.
Yeah.
I'm down to. Like I said,
the vision journal. I got my little colored pencils and I got my crayon, and then my sister got me this beautiful coloring book on ancient. I can do ancient mantras and all kinds of different pictures. And I'm going to design my journal, my dream journal, with all these different pictures. I'm going to color them. I'll show you guys at the end of the month, my dream journal. And maybe we could all do like a end of the month, January, kind of like follow-up of all the people who really followed through with the rituals, because they say 80% of people will stop doing their New Year's resolution within the first week. And I don't want to be one of those people. I'm going to stay really focused this year and do, what I can to be accountable with my buddy here.
So how about we do that? What we'll do is in the Raise Your Vibe tribe, just so everybody that's watching on the replay or that's live with us now, and we thank you for being live, and we also appreciate the replay viewers, because I know a lot of people are taking today for themselves, which is really awesome. We'll post that. We'll post Kelly's link for her 21-day challenge, and then we'll also, if you could, Karen, could you scan? Because I mean, I know that I was off, but I was getting to work myself. I really like your goal vision, the fine tune your master project, and basically like making your own version of a desire map. And a lot of times when Karen and I teach together, I just sit back and I take notes. I just want to learn. So for any of you that have not got to experience the wonderful channeled messages of listening to a meditation with Karen, you guys are in for a treat. But yeah, just follow up in the Raise Your Vibe tribe. So let's do a call to action to see, what does your dream vision journal look like now, and what does it look like in a month?
Yeah.
And maybe you can scan it, because I have a different version of what you do, but I'm not opposed to saying, hey, let's do something new this year. Why not? And I think that would be really cool, because I really believe when we physically, that's why coloring is so great, because it engages our mind, but then it's almost like it brings peace, and there's nothing, like, it's just your like little kid channeling. It's great.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of visualizing. It's actually like, like I said, my versions are a little bit different. So whatever you want to take away from this and create your own version. But we'll put some action in the Raise Your Vibe tribe. It's a really wonderful community, and we all it's pretty much about love. I have a Soul Tribe Warrior tribe myself, but for the purpose of this, it's just, let's raise the vibe. Like, Karen and I, we collaborate so well. It's like, what's hers is mine, what's mine is her. It's no like, oh my God. It's not like, oh my God, she has more Facebook followers in her group. It's like, hey, yeah, it's
our group. It's not even my group. I just started it. It grew on its own.
So, and it really is. We get to have a lot of fun together, whether we're doing our own business strategies and then we're like in that serious mode, but or we get to do events like this where we get to share, a part of what really goes on, as a spiritual teacher. Because a lot of people don't share their secrets, or they do, and then it's like, oh my God, like, you have whatever 24 hours and then I'll tell you the real secrets. But for us, it's, why not share just so much, because there's just so much to give. There really is.
Yeah, and if they go to the link that's in my link right here, that's in front of me, that says Global Kindness. Yep, right here, Global Kindness, globalkindnesstv.org/gift. There are over $300 worth of free gifts there, including my Manifest Your Dream ebook, my friend Astra's Grow Your Money Tree. I also have Meditate with Your Pets. There's also Mind Movies. My friend Natalie Ledwell is giving free mind movies on my website. So if you go to globalkindnesstv.org/gift, and then you'll see all the different links that you can get all those different free gifts. Over $300 worth of free gifts.
Okay, so we do have a question, Karen. Somebody missed the U in focus.
Oh, the
Karen,
U?
Karen M did.
Okay, the U is unplug. Unplug. So you didn't miss nothing. That's when we got to slow down, and we got to take ourselves away from social media, away from our business, and unplug and take, like I said in the beginning, take your shoes off and walk out in the grass and just enjoy nature, Take some time for you, unplug. So so you get really fine-tuned. It's number one was fine-tune is F. And then O is optimize. Optimize your emails. Optimize your automation. Use all your automation that you can. Because once I started using, and I'm a MailChimp master now. I love MailChimp. It's free. And you can master it. And I raised over, almost 2,000 followers through free MailChimp, And then what you do after that is C was, let me see what I did with my list. I just put it down here. Concentrate on what's essential right now. Like, what do you need to do today? Like, start there, and don't let yourself get all overwhelmed with your to-do list. Just do your essential now, what needs to be done now. And then U was unplug, and S was systematize, streamline your media. So yeah, so streamline your media means really get into super clear vibration before you start posting in social media.
That's a topic for a whole nother day, sister. We could riff about.
I will. I have a whole ebook on that is all about angelic marketing and mindful media. That's what I have. My mindful media and angelic marketing, and it's all about tuning into your higher vibes and your higher sources before you do any kind of social media.
That's awesome.
That's how I built my tribes. It's how I've built everything. It's how I've done everything. It's all been vibrational.
And, and that, goes hand in hand with the work that I do, because I'm an intuitive energy coach. So I mean, I don't, for me, coaching, I don't coach the problem. I coach the energy. Right. So when I see or feel the dip in energy in a particular person, hold on, I was just getting questions. But for me, when I feel that dip,
I love we're having like interactiveness. I love that we're getting questions. Make comments too, you guys. Right?
Yeah,
if you liked
here
it,
for you.
If you liked it, please let us know, because we'll do more of these for you if you like them.
Yep. So, hold on, I lost my thought there for a second. What was it?
Bring it in, right? Like
I know. I totally. I guess it wasn't meant to be chit chatted about. Oh, energy. So when I hear when you're doing face to face, like you can see vibrancy coming from you. I'm sure people can see, like me. I'm a little tired today. Like as much as I was trying to self-care and go to bed, I was vibrant last night.
Yeah.
And man, and sometimes you just got to roll with it, and I got 2 hours of sleep and I got to talk to my Hawaii friends, my Australian friends. It was just this huge celebration. Yeah. And that's the way it went last night. So, after this, I'm going to finish up some things, eat something great, and, watch that movie and take it down a notch, take it down.
You would love that movie.
I'm definitely going to watch that.
I got I used to get goosebumps when something was the truth. Now my angels and guides give me a vibrational shake, like my body shakes when I'm being being shown a sign or a message. And that movie was a message to me. It was, yes, you are on the right path. Yes, you are doing, and this is what it's going to look like if you keep going, keep going, keep going. That's what it was. I was just like, oh, wow. And my husband, I'm like crying, and my husband is like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, these are happy tears. And he's like, I know, honey, you are Tomorrowland. You are Tomorrowland. And when you see the movie, it's like the little girl, the teenage girl, she just reminded me so much of myself. And, it's all about believing. If enough of us believe, we shift the whole planet. If enough of us believe, we shift the whole planet. And that's kind of what the whole divine plan was all about. It was, how much can you handle as a human in the human experience and still remember who you really are? How much can you handle? There's been, believe me, my spirit was almost broken when I was in that abusive relationship. And I had broken ribs, I had black eyes, I had an ulcer because I wasn't talking about what was bothering me. I was broken spirit. I did not feel like God was with me. I did not feel my angels at all. But they hadn't gone anywhere. I was just in the low vibe. And if you're in the low vibe, they can't reach you because of a frequency. It's just like a radio station, you guys. If you aren't tuned in, you won't hear the music. But if you are tuned in, it's the universe. Uni means one, and verse means song. It's the one song. And every one of us is part of the harmony. Every one of us.
Love that. Love that. So it seems like
our gifts, then the song doesn't get sung. That's the problem. Too many people, I get very passionate about this. Too many people are trying, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, okay? We're all in this together. We're all in the puzzle together. And so many people are trying to squeeze themselves into a fit, trying to work in a restaurant to make money or work in corporations to make money. And they aren't doing what they love, and they aren't doing what they came here to do. And so they think that they're creating a hell on earth, but we are creating it by not being what we came here to do.
So true. So true. So at the moment, there's no questions, Karen. We pretty much answered everything. I figured out how to actually do live chat in the Google Hangouts from my phone, which is pretty awesome. And I actually linked the Facebook group, so all they have to do is push it, and then they can, you know, get access to the group. Because let's see. Francis said that he's trying to relax and he's processing things a little slower today. That he's that he's not keeping up, but that's okay, because sometimes we need a pause and we need a review. That's the replay will be available for everybody. And then I said pretty much like we're gonna follow up and do the call to actions and everything like that in the Facebook group, because I think that'll be fun. Get the party started for the new year. Gets everybody raising their vibe and feeling really good and energized and ready to kick some booty this year.
Awesome.
All right, so I'm gonna mute my mic so you can do your meditation. So just a precursor, if anybody's driving, please do not close your eyes. And you got the showroom, girlfriend, and then I'll bring down the house with some of the things that I do every New Year.
Awesome. Okay, so I want you to really start. It's funny how I start to come right down again, huh? They bring you in, they raise you up, they lower us back. We start to ground in. So what I'd love for you to do is just, if it's safe and you're not driving, of course, just start to close your eyes. When we close our eyes, we open our inner eyes to an inner vision, to a vision of all that is possible. So start to just close your eyes, follow the music, and let your imagination soar in the skies. Take the time to just follow your breath to wherever it goes in your body. If you feel it going into your chest, just release. If you take a deeper breath and feel your belly starting to rise, that just quiets your mind. But you can't breathe wrong, so just breathe, following your breath and following my voice. We're going to tap in to your inner wisdom, to your inner master teacher, the one who's been with you through it all. Keeping your eyes closed, I want you to just imagine a golden cord at the base of your spine. And I want you to imagine this beautiful golden cord floating all the way down through your feet. A magical healing energy washing away any dis-ease, any discomfort, and any pain. Feel the energy pouring down, and imagine roots going into Mother Earth and connecting you down beyond Gaia and grounding you and centering your energy. And really let yourself feel the energy of being supported, of being held in Mother Earth, of being centered. Feel how powerful you really are in your state of power, grounded into Mother Earth. And now at the same time, that golden cord is floating up all the way through all the energy centers in your body, floating all the way up through the top of your head. A golden cord. And that energy is floating all the way up into the highest vibrations, the highest frequencies. And your physical energy is floating up that rope, bringing you into the highest vibrations. And as you reach in, you are greeted by the counsel of love and light and kindness and peace and joy. And they are thanking you for the work that you're doing here on Mother Earth, thanking you for all that you have volunteered to do in this world, and acknowledging all that you've already accomplished and giving you your next assignment. Now feel yourself just totally supported, and closing your eyes and keeping your eyes closed. They're going to start to show you pictures of the future. Imagine seeing yourself 5 years from now, from this day, with world leaders who are leading from their heart, from the highest and the best good, with everyone in your family coming from their higher self, living their higher purpose, living the life that you have come here to live. Use your imagination. What would that look like? What house would you live in if there were no limitations? Start to see where you would live. Start to see the world through the eyes of endless possibility. Your guides, the ascended masters, the archangels, the lords of the records in the Akashic records, they're all with you. Can you feel the support? Can you feel the excitement and enthusiasm and gratitude that they have for you? Thank you, they say. Thank you for creating heaven on earth. Just imagine 5 years from now. Let that imagination run with you. What would it look like if everyone was living their higher purpose? Living from a place of abundance. All scarcity mindset completely washed away. What would that feel like? Start to imagine and bring your hands to your heart, placing both hands over your heart. Say the affirmation, I commit to being a force of light and love. I am part of the solution. I choose to shine my light into all the dark places so that the darkness and the illusion will fall away. Feel yourself stepping into your power, and your guides have asked you to commit. What will you do now that you know the truth? What will you do with it? I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And you're going to be back in your physical body, but you're not going to be the same. You have been activated. Your light body is awakened. You are the light force. You are the miracle that you have been waiting for. Step up and be who you came here to be. 1, start to just wiggle your fingers and your toes. And just start to come back into this moment, into this physical experience of being a human again. But know that you have connected to something so much more powerful. 3, and that lives in you. 4, and it's now time for you to share it. 5, welcome back. I'm so happy to be with you again. Welcome back. Start to really find that ideal part of you, that excited energy that fires you up. Why did you come here? And think about all the experiences. Those are blueprints. Those are your golden nuggets. I know it's been hard in this human experience. Believe me, when I lived out of my car and I had no idea where my food was coming from, and I had no idea when anybody was going to support me, that was hell to me. But I knew that if I kept believing that there was something better in my future, and I knew that I was the one who went away from the higher vibrations, and I knew I could find my way back. I knew, even when I was living out of my car, I was reading Wayne Dyer's books, and I was reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and I was believing and reading Louise Hay, who didn't even start her journey until she was 50. Who didn't even start Hay House until she was 60 years old. You guys, step into what you came here to do. The world needs you. So if you want to write into the chat anything that you might have had, any experience that might have come up for you. You know, when you go into the Facebook groups, just share what's going on for you now. How do you feel? What kind of things are coming up? How about you, Maureen? Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I loved it. It actually was, you know, I like to sit back and, like I said, you know, always observe and pay attention to your teaching styles. It's so funny that when you, at the very end, not that it's funny, it's just, you know, synchronicity all the time, but, you know, when you said you're activated now, and that's very similar to my energy. Like we activate others' energies around us, or whatever. Like in our bubble, like you're being activated. So I just felt warm, and I felt supported, and I felt I did a lot of releasing last night, and I just felt like I was just with you, like in the meditation, like I was leading it, but I wasn't leading it, and I just, you know, dreams become reality, and it just felt like, and it's not even about like, you know, everybody says this is my year, you know, but it's like really, I felt like this is, who cares about the year? This is my moment right now. This is my moment. You know, what can I do in this moment in time to be the best version of myself?
Absolutely.
So it was just really beautiful. And actually what I did, I voice recorded you this time from my phone.
Oh, awesome. You know what?
So I missed like the very, very first part, and I kind of, because you know sometimes people come back sooner, and I kind of paused it a little bit before the end, but the majority, like the whole channeling that you did was totally there. So I'm gonna figure out how.
Well, I would suggest you take your dream journal and you write on your first page, because what happens is a visceral experience is more powerful when you write it down. When your imagination doesn't know the difference between the real or the imagined. Your brain, your mind doesn't know the difference. So if you start to focus on what you want more than what you don't want, your mind starts to become your friend. So if you write that down, you will start to notice that it's more of a visceral experience where you are actually, you go through it again, listen to it on the replay, and write down what kind of things came to you, what kind of visions came to you. Like, I mean, I was seeing the world, I was seeing the most beautiful world I've ever seen, you know, and everything was vibrating at a brighter color. And so, you know, it's like,
does that remind you of where we came from?
Yeah.
The neat connection with Karen and I is that we've actually had the pleasure in one of our past lives to, well, we've met up a few times, but we had, I mean, it's an honor really, but, and I would like to meet the other sisters, but we spent time in Atlantis, and we were a part of channeling this message using crystals and lights, and we just got to really, we got to be light workers and be free, if you will. A lot of the work that we got to share in our past lives, we were condemned, we were silenced, we were killed. Like there was a lot of stuff that we've been doing, you know, our souls have, you know, our souls have progressed. So it's really cool, because that was kind of the image that I was imagining myself, was not the vibrancy, but the colors of the crystals. And, you know, if we can share like a glimpse of what we got to experience from then and bring it to now, I mean, how much, you know, with your mission, global kindness, global happiness, global peace, like I mean, there's just so much, you know, because it really does. The whole purpose of us coming together is 3 different spiritual teachers giving our version of, you know, how we do New Year's is really to say it starts within, you know. Right. If we don't have like, you know, if we don't have our stuff taken care of, we're not going to be able to be of service to the world. If we don't have great self-care, I can't give to you. You know, I will say when I am strong, I give. When I am weak, I receive. And that was a really hard lesson for me, to be open to receive healing. You know, that's one of the things that Karen helped me out a lot with, you know, when I needed, you know, angels, prayers, Reiki, support, you know, just lean in on your sisters. Lean in.
And I went into your Akashic Records too. Remember, I'm an Akashic Records, a certified Akashic Records reader. Really? And so when I went into the records for Maureen, I was seeing that there were a lot of things that were coming up from her past lives that were holding her back in this lifetime. And we just cleared it out. And once we cleared that out, it was like, wow, Maureen just like, her whole vibrancy and her whole energy just shifted. And the same thing happened for me, because I used to be a singer in the monasteries, and I was a nun in one of my lifetimes, where I just lived on basically, you know, what I sang for my living, and all my needs were being met, but I never needed more than that. And then that was really where my mindset was, and really where my glass ceiling was. And then I cleared that, and everything exploded. My abundance just, you saw it in the last year. The whole thing just, I mean, that whole limiting belief just was gone, and it hasn't come back. And you know, it does in little bits, you know, like I just got a big hospital bill, and that, like, oh, I went, oh, like all of a sudden I was like, oh shit, like, you know. And then I thought, oh, you know what, more abundance is on the way, and that's why this bill has come, because more and more is coming, and I can make payments to them, and I'll make friends with the people, and I'll explain where I am financially, you know, and be honest, be where you are. Don't be afraid. Don't let fear hold you in scarcity. Remember that we're all in this together.
Yes, yes.
Scarcity sucks. Don't live in scarcity. Don't let scarcity hold you into a belief that you are going to stay in a job that makes you unhappy, and something that's going to, you know, believing that it's all going to be better when I retire. It's not going to be better when you retire. You're going to be sick and old, and you're not going to be able to live your vision.
I love it. You start ripping. All right. Crack me up. All right, guys. That was awesome.
What if that was what if that, just for a second, Maureen, what if that is the truth, right? It is the truth, but
well, it is the truth.
Many people who are listening to this are going to just get an aha moment. They're going to just be like, whoa, like, wow, that just struck me. I totally get what I totally get what she's saying now. And wow, that's totally me, my past lives. And the more that we awaken our physical body, and the more that we awaken the light body inside, the more we will remember our past lives, and the more we will remember the experiences. It's not important who you were in your past life, it's what you learned in that life. And it's also important that you understand that you need to clear what you learned in that life, because you don't have to take that in to every experience anymore. Once you learn it, you can let it go.
I like the, I was kind of like, oh, I'm not sure if we see things, because sometimes we don't see things always eyeball to eyeball, and we're like, oh, like, which way is it? You know, we always have fun little banter. But yeah, that's really, like, my version of it is that, like, your soul, like, and it's really completing your soul's contract. So it's like your soul has a contract, and it's like, this is your assignment. And then once it's learned, yeah, we clear it. Yeah. And then we can move forward, which is, you know, a lot of us light workers are shining and stepping up now. And there's been this chain. And, you know, I consider myself, I consider you, Kelly, and a lot of other people that are really spreading this message that we're the next generation. Like, there's already, you know, Oprah says that there's a next generation of thought leaders, but they've already built another generation, which is us. And then my deep passion is to share, you know, awaken as many people as possible, because it's scary. It's a tough journey, but when you get to the other side, it just is like, you know, it's not always rainbows and butterflies, but it really is just quite miraculous. And when you're in the flow, and when you're synchronous, like, you're vibrating high, you know, everything. That's where, you know, whether you see where your energy falls on your chart, or just you can feel it, you know. Like, so funny, you know, Karen, and seriously, we didn't even, there was nothing scripted except who was going to talk. And, like, then Karen and I always play off of each other. But I had no idea that Kelly was offering a buy one, get one free, or if she had shared it before, I might not have been paying attention. And I was like, wouldn't that be a great gift for Karen? Because then we could do it together. And she was thinking the same thing. And then she put in her little gratitude box that, you know, and I put the same thing. I really did. I was like, oh my God, I woke up and I felt so, I mean, I only had 2 hours sleep, but I stretched, and I just was like, like, my dreams are so alive. I just kind of sprang out of bed. And like one side of me wanted to delay, and the other side was like, no, it's fun. Yeah, yeah, we got stuff to do. And like, you know, and I got really nervous to do this, which is always a really cool thing for me, because that means that I'm, you know, I'm going, you know, get out of your comfy zone, what you were talking about yesterday, Karen, you know, and again, being consistent. You know, I could have been like, oh, I'm too tired, I didn't get enough sleep. No, I was committed and I was consistent, and it's really, I'm sticking to that. And that kind of goes with the first thing. I actually wrote a list so I could be on topic today for you guys. So for anybody that doesn't know me, I know it's actually 333, just saying, it's 333 on the East Coast. So the angels are with us. So I am Maureen Saladino. I'm an intuitive energy coach, and I'm also a spiritual strategist. My little background story is I had 3 decades of sexual trauma. So when I was 3, I was molested. When I was 18, I went to college. I was raped. And then again, I was raped when I was 28. And I agree that I was awakened, and then the universe kind of like, I had to learn some stuff. And part of me healing my trauma at 3 years old, because at the time they didn't, the way that psychology had matriculated was, I'm 3, I'm not going to remember, and all's well, let's just swipe it under the table. But reality was I did remember, and that created PTSD in me, and nobody saw the signs because it was what it was, and everybody did the best they could at that moment. So what I did is I would go outside in nature, and I would find 4-leaf clovers. And I just remember like looking over in the garden. My backyard's very magical. There's a lot of fairies and angels. And I started to communicate with these light orbs, and I didn't really know what it was. But they were my new family. They kept me safe and they protected me. And from that point in time, like my intuition was very sharp. And so I healed myself by training for the Olympics, connecting with the angels. And then when I had trauma again, it's almost, that's when I shut everything down. Like I shut it down. Like I was 18, you know, there was just so much going on, and there was a lot of healing that I couldn't mentally process because of the way that things unfolded. So it was like, don't talk about it. Nothing happened. So I went through a really long time of just being really asleep. You know, I didn't go the conventional route, which is like go to college, you know, get married and all that. I was like, oh, I don't want to go to college because a bad experience. I'm going to be a massage therapist. I'm going to start my own business. So I started my own business when I was 18 years old. And I used to travel to different people's houses and do massage because I didn't want to work for people then. And then, you know, in my family, it was like, you know, you need an education. And I was just hell bent on this one direction. So I was like, okay, if I need a job, you know, for living at home. And I started working at restaurants. And my dad said, if you want to work in restaurants, be the best that you can. So I worked my way up to a multi-million-dollar steakhouse and became a corporate certified trainer. I had the life, 6 figures, 2 not houses, but 2 apartments, the car, the fiance, you know, the beat, like it was all this stuff. But in the inside, I was dying and dying and dying and dying and dying. And it just, so my awakening was really, in 2008, my father passed away suddenly. And I was just like, wow. I had finally gotten to the top to make him proud of my career. And then he's not there any longer. And then, oh, do you want to play with the vision box, huh? And then the following year, I was raped, and then my house burned down in 2010. And that's really what took me on my spiritual, that was a part of my awakening. And as I went, you know, I healed, and then I really started seeking out back to my roots, back to what I remembered when I was a child. And so now, I mean, I'm very comfortable in this realm of speaking about all this stuff. And, you know, we all have a story to share. We all have a message. We all have this beautiful gift inside. That's why, you know, Karen and I are collaborating, and we're doing a Simple Spirituality Academy because, hold on, I'm grabbing my list. What we both agree that there's so many different modalities of healing and teaching. And what if you just want to test it out, or you want to see if that's really for you, and you want to cultivate your own superpowers? And because both of us understand what it was like to walk alone, we don't have to walk alone anymore. and we're both so skilled at like tuning in, like, you know, it's like, oh my God, do you know that this is your superpower? And it's so flippin' amazing. So if you don't think you have a superpower, I promise you, you do. You definitely do. So like maybe like we need a tagline together. Karen and Maureen, we'll help you find your superpower. And then we're going to hold your hand with you the whole entire journey and make sure that you're safe and protected, because that's something that we didn't experience when we were learning all this. We kind of had to figure it out on our own. And why, you know, I don't want you guys to do the hard path in business and spirituality. It's going to be so easy, you know.
Remember what I said yesterday on the phone, though? It's like we have a choice. We're either dancing with our ego or we're dancing with spirit. And if we pay attention and we follow spirit's lead, we dance this beautiful choreographed dance, and it's just magical. But if we follow ego's lead, then we're stepping all over each other's feet and we're not doing any kind of dance. So, so that was, I thought that was kind of just like what you just said. So I just wanted to kind of chime in there.
And the interesting thing,
we are holding each other's hands, you know, we are guiding each other, but we're all in this together. We're all on the journey. Some people might be a little further up on the path, but we are all working to walk our way home, dance our way home.
Absolutely. I like that, dance your, or, you know, like Wayne Dyer says, don't die with the music inside of you. Like, what a beautiful message, you know, from the wonderful Dyer, and how his daughter, was it Serena or Sky that had the book with her dad?
It's Serena.
Okay, Serena, and it's her book with her dad. I thought it was so cool. And luckily they got to do that, collaborate together before he passed. And, you know, don't die with the music inside of you. I just think that's such a, like, kind of what you were saying, like, don't wait until, you know, thinking retirement, you know, there's just so much, you know.
Wayne Dyer is one of my guides on the other side, and he explained to me that what his life was to show all of us how we can all be self-realized in a physical body. We can all be self-realized. We can all achieve self-mastery. And he showed us with his struggles and the things that he went through. And he was just an example. And when he left his physical body consciously. He decided it was time that he had filled in what he wanted to do, and that was it.
Absolutely. So as I stated before, so here's my Ignite Your Life list. So prior to the actual day, so on New Year's Eve, what I do is I write a burn letter. So I do a surrender letter. Like there's, you know, whatever baggage that I think I might want to bring with me, I write it all down. And, you know, I have an 8-step process of doing a surrender letter. So it's very similar to what we would do on a full moon, but I make sure that, you know, coming into the new year, that I'm really coming in, like, literally with a clean slate, like mind, body, spirit wise. And then everything that's in my gratitude jar, what I do is I actually burn all of the gratitude just to, like, give it to the Ethras, and I read each and one of them. And so in that moment, I just, like, I go from releasing, and then I get into serious gratitude. I mean, you know, I thought it was really cool. We both have our little, you know, jars. And mine, like, this is like Kripalu, because I want to be a teacher at Kripalu. The retreat that we're going to be doing with our mastermind, there's going to be an optional retreat to be at Kripalu and work directly one-on-one with myself. And it's been a dream of mine. I've done healing angel circles there, but really, like, you know, have, you know, retreats. That's my most favorite place in the world to be at this moment in time. And so I'm always looking. So it's like I have a picture of gratitude, like it's just a double affirmation of visualization, and then, like, so that's like, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna put a picture. I'm gonna dress this baby up like sexy this year, because last year it had martini glasses on it. But, you know, as we awaken, you kind of don't want to put. It's not that you put toxins in your body. It's that you just want to just be clear. You know, you really want to be in your highest vibration state if you can be. So, and then I meditate and visualize at midnight. Like at midnight, I got off a call, like 2 minutes before midnight. I was like, okay. And I got into my Zen space. I wasn't all like, hey, Happy New Year. It was like, let me bring this home, because I remember 3 years ago I did this, and it was a really awesome year that year. And I just thought it was the coolest thing, because I know that I wasn't the only person that was meditating in that time. So I just kind of felt everybody else, with me. So those are some of the things I do New Year's Eve. Now for New Year's Day is, like I said, and I'm looking over onto my wall, so I have a vision office. I'll have to do a tour of what my office looks like, but right in front of me, I have on the left, I have every single client that's ever sent me a gift, a card, something of something of something, and it just extends. And then in the middle, it's like, those are my go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Then, at the very top, now it's like, it's on a white piece of paper, so it really sticks out, is I'm committed to staying consistent in 2016, and so it is. It is huge. So I say set action affirmations for yourself, whatever that looks like. Maybe it's like, I want self-care, or maybe I want to not leave your job. I'm trying to think of good affirmations that you use. Maybe you want to be committed. Maybe you want to be consistent. Maybe you want to be confident. Maybe you want, and think about what you really want, kind of your theme, if you will. And for me, I've had it on my wall for 2 weeks. So every single time I looked at it, I was like, yes. When I step forward and I say I'm doing something, it's a whole nother meaning of walking your walk and living your talk. If I'm going to broadcast every day, I'm broadcasting every day. If I sleep for 2 hours, that's on me. I'm going to show up and do what I said I'm going to do, which is a whole nother commitment for myself, my business, everything. So I really like having those power affirmations. And then I do my favorite thing to do, and I do this often, is your what works and your what doesn't work list. And if you want to put it more into my language, and I say what fires you the fuck up and what drains you. I just had this vision. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. You can apply this to every single area of your life. So what fires you up on your self-care? Is it meditating, yoga, going for a walk? Maybe it's doing the dishes. Who knows what's going to really fire you up? What drains you? I don't like doing dishes, and hopefully you have a partner that likes doing them, or a cool dishwasher, and just being really mindful and aware of what's not working without judgment. And the cool thing about what doesn't work, you can decide to switch it to the other side, or you can say, that's not serving me anymore. Maybe it's drinking or smoking or a bad habit. Maybe it's overeating or eating when you're happy, sad, or depressed. Whatever that looks like, we all have some form of addiction or something that we don't do that's healthy for us. And if that's on your what doesn't work list, then you can be like, okay, this isn't serving me anymore, and I'm going to make an action step to get myself, to overcome that. And you can do it in your business. Like Karen was saying with the focus, optimize. Optimize is huge. And then when she said that, she's optimize, automate, and systems. And we both agree with, we don't like, at this moment in time, Egger and Hootsuite and the I'm going to post, you put in your information. I mean, it's not like it's not you. It's not like your energy's not there. But for us, we really like feeling the energy in that moment in time in this particular place. And a lot of times it does, you can intuitively tap into that. But we just really like being in the physical, in it to win it right there in the moment. So I love that part. So, some people don't like MailChimp, you don't like MailChimp, or you don't like setting up your automation, or, you might not like doing web design or writing sales copy or making cool graphics, whatever that is. And when you look at what works doesn't list, then in your business, this is a little bit different than your self-care, you say, oh my God, how can I outsource that? Or who can I partner with and trade or learn from so I can fall in love with it? And, I really recommend, if you're new and your finances are limited, learn it and fall in love with different things in your business. Fall in love with MailChimp, fall in love with learning some type of web design and coding, because the only downfall of outsourcing is that you might not know how to do it. And when you get into a crunch, when you really do have like a lot of things going on your plate and your virtual assistant is nowhere to be found, guess what? It looks, you're not on point. So, and you wouldn't know what to do if like, how do I, even when Karen, she was always sharing me, she's sharing me with Sharon, sister. But she's always giving me different tips, and she's like, hey, if I'm showing a sign and you're talking, it's going to be 2 different flip-flop screens. And I was like, okay, cool. So, I'm always learning as I go. And, but the whole point is that at least I'm going out there and trying. Like if you want to do Periscope, practice with your friends. And, we could I know that we could definitely have a wonderful jam session about, social media and using different platforms. And we're definitely going to be teaching that in our year mastermind. And then I do not, okay, so what we did with Karen and where she took us in that wonderful journey, visualization, I do that, but I normally do it by myself. But I really like being guided by Karen's energy. And when I'm there is like, I visualize and I'm just like, I am eating, breathing, sleeping, like everything, feeling it, everything that could possibly all the Karen does this really cool thing that I've incorporated in my daily ritual, and it's imagine what if for 68 seconds. That's it. And I was just like, and I've gotten I haven't perfected it, but I've gotten a lot better. And when I was in that visualization, I was like, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, the speaking gauge. Oh yeah, this and this. I don't even know if it's going to happen, but I felt like it was going to happen. I got really, really, really jived up for it, and that's raising your energy vibration. And when we raise that vibration, and if you see and understand your energy zones, this is level 7 thinking. When you think and you're in that frequency, boom, literally anything you can think of can come true. And like Karen said, the visceral. So then so now I'm in that visual. Now what I do is I write down what my year looks like. And I just play, I want to go on this retreat. I want to go to this island or learn from this person. And I just go there. And it's really neat when you reflect back on it from the year prior. If anybody does coach trainings or they do workshops and weekend seminars and spiritual retreats, a lot of times they're like, what are your intentions for the weekend? And only a 3-day intention, and you look back and sure enough, majority of the time, your intention has come true. So this stuff works. I was just thinking how much gratitude I had in my heart, because before I got pushed off the cliff to be a full-time entrepreneur, I was working with life coach Kara of the Champagne Diet, and I was in her Girl Code workshop, and there was a 1 week, and it was visualize, and for whatever reason my guides told me, it's not visualize a month, you need to visualize what your day looks like. And in my version of the dream or vision journal that Karen does, I created 7 different possibilities of what my ideal perfect day looked like being a full-time entrepreneur. What it looked like when I was taking a 5 o'clock flight and I was talking on Good Morning America. What did it look like if I was going and leading a retreat that weekend? So I gave myself all these different fun possibilities, and it was so cool. And I was like, holy flippin' smokes. Every single thing that I wrote about 6 months ago, it was in June or July, every single thing I wrote then is literally pretty much my life at this moment in time. So I definitely this stuff works. And I'm not a big, for me, I'd rather have my action affirmation opposed to this is what I'm doing for the new year, because I feel like we really stress ourselves out with it, and everybody's going to teach you this way and that way, and your accountability sisters. But at the end of the day, the first thing to anything is willingness. And that's why 80% of us, after week 2 of, the New Year's, we're not accomplishing our goals. Why do we have to stress? Why do we only do this once a year? Why? I'm always, and as Kelly was saying, if you're an entrepreneur, you're always assessing, you're always learning, you're ebbing and flowing. There's good days, there's bad days, there's things that are just they're really jiving and you're in the flow. And then there's days where you just don't got anything. You're like, man, and it's just that's the life of being an entrepreneur. So what I do is I look at, I grabbed my calendar and I set weekly goals for myself. I set one weekly goal, something like very similar to the chart that Karen, it was hard to see mine, but very similar to that. And it's like, okay. And then I set, my monthly goals. And this year I'm really focusing on understanding the deeper side of my finances. So I'm working with a financial coach to understand abundance in an objective way, because I'm a light worker, I'm a lover, and I'm a giver. If I could give away my stuff for free, I would do it in a heartbeat. I coach for free for almost 3 years, completely free, because I wanted that experience. Anytime that I've ever done energy or healing on people, I gave it away. I wanted to see what the experience was. I wanted that training. And so, I wanted the confidence. So I have a very old school mentality that, interning and really like putting in the work is not a bad thing, and blessed be to how whatever your style is. But for me, that's what really worked. And so that's, and so what I look at is that I set, so I'm looking at, when I set my monthly goal, I'm looking at how much do I want to make this month? And what do I have to do to make it? And even if it's something small, like I want to make let's say for $1,000 a week, what do I have to, what are these, just like, kind of like I can actually like take Karen's plan, like we're learning from each other, take that and be like, okay, well, if I have this speaking engagement, I can make $500. Okay, if I need to do this as soon as possible in my business, I can make $2,000 if I, properly launch it. And then, on my reading and learning, what new certification or what do I want to learn in addition to add to the, add it to my business, add value to my clients, add value to myself and my personal development. So that's kind of how I do it. So I keep it real simple. And then on my list is gratitude box, but we already talked about that. And, dress up your box however you like. Next year, I can so see Karen whipping out a line of gratitude jars. They're really, really cool. And then accountability sisters, as Karen said at the very, at one point of this conversation, that we're holding each other. Not only we're working together simultaneously on a lot of projects, but we also have our solo thing. But we're holding each other accountable in every shape of what we want to accomplish this year. So it's not just saying like, hey, let's support this project we're working on together. It's like, no, well, let me give you my area of expertise and look at like, let's see your business and like, really dive in deep. And then when we do that deep work, it's like, hey, I'm going to hold myself accountable. And she's like, I know you got my back. So I'm going to check in and say, hey, Karen, are you doing your 2 hours? Or, have you taken good self-care of yourself? And she's going to check in with me and be like, hey, Maureen, did you get that sales page up? We really need to launch this, or, whatever that looks like. Or, hey, can you take a look at, because I do more of the website stuff. It's funny because we kind of like together, we have like all the areas of the media or the technology side of the business. Like you put us together and it's like, okay, one of us knows how to do it or has a better, can do it faster. It's not even better, it's faster, because we're looking for efficiency. So yeah, and that's, having some like, and if it takes, getting into a mastermind, and I'm saying like there's business masterminds, like it's like our spiritual mastermind is for you developing your spiritual gifts and tools and holding you accountable. And then, not just holding your hand, but it's like, okay, what is your special gift for meditation? Because if you see my meditations, a lot of times, like I'm active, like, it's my version of Kundalini, but like I do more active stuff. Like I'm like, boom, boom, boom with the energy. And Karen really takes you on this really journey and it's relaxing. And, she just channels this message. So it's, part of what we would be doing is we'd be helping you cultivate your super meditation skills. Some people have, like the different tone and voice and like really like hone in onto how you could be the best meditation guide of yourself, because it's all going to look different for everybody. And there's so many variations of meditations, right, Karen? So those are just, kind of some of the things that, but if you really like in business, like we're holding each other accountable in business, and it's imperative, for personal development and growth, but also to to really accomplish your goals and dreams. It really is. So, you know, if anybody's looking for a recommendation on a business mastermind, my coach Jen Kem does a Momentum Pro, and everybody that was in this program, we, you know, even Kelly and I were in the program together, and her 3-month goal was to have something along the lines of writing a book and having some type of challenge. And then, wow, it's now unfolding. Now, it didn't happen in that 3-month time. But what we did is, you know, we did SMART goals, and I'm not going to get into the whole goal setting and how to set like your right intentions or the goals at this, you know, for this particular, because we're coming down at the end of the hour. But SMART, like, is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it timely? Can we do this? Do we need to do some adjusting? You know, very like kind of like Karen, like, what do I need to do ASAP? And we're doing the I'm like so used to saying global kindness, global peace. We're doing the Global Peace Summit. You know, what do we have to do now to make this happen? And Karen and I kind of fly by the seat of our pants. We don't wait for perfection. We just kind of launch. We just kind of we'll figure it out along the way.
We just float around in our own little, like my husband says, Karen's world is rainbows and unicorns.
I love it. So yeah,
Rainbow Bright. That's my nickname, Rainbow Bright.
So you know, and then we're like really thinking, okay, what do we have to do? Like, who do we need to contact? You know, how are we going to make this go down? And like every day, like there's like a little action.
I have my weekend plan. I have my weekend. This plan. I don't usually work on the weekends, but this weekend I decided that I'm going to make a commitment to this month working weekends because I want to get this launched correctly.
And you're going to be able to do this more effectively because she's taking her 2 hours of Karen time.
Every day.
So even though she's working on the weekends.
7 days a week.
Mm-hmm. So
2 hours a day.
So does anybody have any questions? Could you check the Facebook? I mean, I'm not sure if we have questions or not. It'd be cool to see if we did, because we might actually be on time.
This was so special.
Oh, cool. So Francis was back on. So he wrote, he's saying that Wayne Dyer wrote books with both of his daughters individually. Oh, that's so cool. I definitely, he's one of my favorite spiritual teachers for sure. And I continue to learn from him, even though he's on the other side. He was a really, really beautiful channel for us.
He's a more powerful teacher from the other side.
Really is.
And he said, anybody who wants his vibration, just tune in. He'll come to you. All you have to do is ask. He's said that to me. He said, make sure you let people know that you aren't special, that you you are tuned in, but they can be too.
That's so cool.
That's what I've been telling. And he said we have it wrong here in this physical plane. We have it wrong the way that we idolize celebrities, and we don't idolize, and we pedestal celebrities, and we don't really give acknowledgement, and that's why we're out of balance. Our whole system is out of balance. The universal law is that we are equal, and we have everything out of balance, and that's why we have created the destruction that we've created on the planet.
Absolutely. You know, and you don't want to see Karen and I riff about planetary needs, because we can get on our high horse, but you know, pedestals with people in general. Nobody's better than anybody else. We're all equal. We're all one. I learned that lesson from Gabrielle Bernstein, who's, you know, been a driving force in my spiritual growth. And I saw her live, and somebody said, I want to do what you're doing. And it actually ended up, it was a friend that we took a course together, and it was like, oh my God, like, you know, when you don't meet people, you know, in real life, and then you're like sitting right next to them, you're like, oh my God, hey, what's up? And she's like, I absolutely want you to do what I'm doing. Like, there's nothing different than me, and I want everybody. And at this time, it was a very small group. And she's like, I want everybody to do this. Like, we all have this gift. And she's like, don't think I'm better than you. Just know that I'm the person that's speaking this message, but there's no reason why I'm here and you're not. So picture yourself being me. And from that moment in time, every time, like I would, go to any of her lectures or I would do her retreats, sometimes I would even flip my chair around where I would look at the audience opposed to looking at the speaker, because I was like, I want to be the person leading this. And, as we talk about law of attraction and setting things into motion, I actually I didn't physically have where's my Kripalu magazine? That was so divinely timed that they sent me the magazine on New Year's Eve. I was like, you guys know what's up. So for example, this. So I know I'll put this in my vision journal. So instead of having her face, I'm going to have my face. And then what would my program look like and how much would it be? So I knew that I've always wanted to teach at Kripalu. And so so I visualized this room and the circle. And so what happened was, by year 2, people knew that I did angel cards. It was kind of like me coming out of my own spiritual closet. And I was like, hey, you want to do angel card readings? Next thing you know, the whole dorm room is filled with people that readings. It was past the reading scope where it was moving so fast and everybody's like, oh yeah, and so the following year, everybody was like, oh, are you going to do that again? And I said, oh, let's do it outside. It's really, it was during summer. It's just so magical in the Berkshires, as you know, Karen. And the director of Kripalu came out, or one of the people, and they're like, excuse me, but your voice is echoing and other people are trying to sleep. And it was only 9 o'clock, but it's a teaching school as well. And I said, okay. And there's but what we can do is we can say, you can go into this room, and there was candles, and it was just absolutely magic. And then people were coming into the circle that didn't know me. They weren't part of the program. And it was just so flipping cool. So I might not have per se been in the brochure yet, but I got to visualize and dream that to reality. And when that happened, I was just like,
that's what it's called. That's what's called feeling it real.
Feeling it real. Okay.
That's Neville Goddard was one of Wayne Dyer's teachers. And
okay.
He was the one who really, and Joe Vitale also, Steve G. Jones, all these successful people have all felt it real. You have to feel it real first before you can actually manifest it into the physical form. But we are feeling beings. We are spirit before human. We are spirit before human. And so if you, like I said to you, if you continually visualize that, you trick your mind into starting to believe, and your vibration keeps you in alignment with that, and you'll start to have the universe will bring in unseen forces, and the universe will start to conspire to bring you what you desire. That's how it works. That's how you feel it into reality. That's how I did everything. That's how when I was publishing my first book, when I published my first book, Dogs Are Gifts from God, I would visualize somebody reading my book and writing me a letter saying, wow, I have this gift too, and I'm so happy that you shared this with me. And, and then I got thousands of letters like that came. And, each time that you want to do something else, the universe is limitless. The only thing that's limited is our mind. That's the only thing that limits us. And so when we start to make our mind our friend, that's why I'm so fascinated in neuroscience and neuroplasticity, because I've totally changed I've been able to change my brain. My brain is completely, it's nothing like it was 4 years ago when I started this journey. My brain is, if they were to do a before and after of my brain, there would be a whole other part of my brain that lights up, because I do meditation every day, I do visualization every day, and now they have the science to show that all of this is real.
I know, it's amazing. And I always say that besides knowing your own energy vibration, which makes it a little bit easier, because when you know that you're tapped into high frequencies, because some people don't know, But when you know you're tapped into that high frequency, like that's your golden tick to be like, yeah, I can manifest anything in this space. But then there's that additional piece that you're saying as well. And it's like you got to feel it, you know, and that's why.
Well, I love Abraham's version of the vortex. You know, I love how when Abraham, the energy from Esther Hicks, the collective energy of Abraham speak. He talks about being in the vortex. When I think about all the stuff that's in my vortex, all the visions, all the dreams, all the things that I've put into my vortex, and how I have been able to align myself so that I could receive the things that were in my vortex, I get really excited about what's coming in this year, because I'm getting more and more aligned with believing anything is possible. You know, when you change your belief in that everything is possible, then the universe has freedom to work through your life miracles. But if you go in and you're 50% of the time, this is the secret to everything. If you're 50% of the time thinking, oh my God, it would be so awesome if I could, for your story, like to be able to go and be at Kripalu and be a teacher at Kripalu and you know, if you're saying that 50% of the time, and then 50% of the other time you're saying, but I don't have the money and I don't have the education and nobody, you actually just stay the same. You stay right where you are. But if you start to think a little more and let your imagination run wild, that 68 seconds, like I told you, 68 seconds every day, if you do that and you continually do that, you tip the scales over so that you are starting to co-create with the universe. Absolutely. And the universe will start to show you the hows. And then you just got to let go of the how and be ready for the wow. Like I always say, let go of the how and be ready for the wow, and step out of the way. You are the only thing that's stopping you. Step out of the way. And really, once you do the work, and once you start to do this work, and you trust and allow and let the how be shown to you, and you don't have to have details, and you don't have to have it all figured out, and you don't have to have it all written down. It's like we have to let the universe do its part, and then we do our part. But most people don't do that. They say, oh no, it has to look like this. And I have to be like when I did my Global Kindness Going Viral and I launched my book, and in the first day I sold like 20 books. And that was like, what? The hashtag's been shared over 20 million times and I've only sold 20 books. What the heck is that all about? You know, and I was like, universe, that's not what we discussed. You know, that's not how it's supposed to go down, you know? And I was really mad at the universe. And I was like, maybe I don't have any kind of tapped in, tuned in. Maybe I'm not tapped in and tuned in, you know? And then I realized that was my ego. That was my ego that was saying, what? Like, that was not my spirit. And then the sales just started coming in when I let go. And I said, okay, well, this was just the first day. And then all of a sudden I was like a best-selling author. And I was like, what the heck? And it was because I let go. It was because I let go of the how, because I had a detailed message with the universe that I was kind of saying, well, I want to make at least $1 million, and I want to do this, and I want to be able to do this and that and the other thing, and just think of what I can do with $1 million. And really, you know, it wasn't me, it was my ego that was running the show. And that's when you get in the way of the universe, then the universe can't work miracles.
Absolutely. So true. I mean, it's just really divine, you know, the synchronicity. We make things so complicated. It really is. It can be so easy.
Jim Carrey said it best to me. I think Jim Carrey said it best. And if you guys can go to his video, go to the YouTube video and Google Jim Carrey on the Law of Attraction. He said in one of his commencement speeches at one of the colleges, he said, I am showing you what is possible for you. Use my life as your roadmap. And what he did was he would go into the biggest and the most beautiful neighborhoods when he was not even, he was living off, people's couches at the time. And he would go into the most beautiful neighborhoods, and he would get in the vibration of, I'm going to be in that mansion, and I'm going to have these big parties, and everybody, I'm going to make people laugh, and I'm going to make not just 1 million people, I'm going to make 1 billion people laugh. And I'm going to, and he just kept letting himself get into the vibration. And then he wrote himself a check for $10 million, the way that you did on the new moon. And he wrote himself a check for $10 million, and he hung it up over his bed, and he looked at it, and he kept looking at it, and he kept looking at it, and he kept getting in the vibration of it. And before he knew it, he had gotten a $10 million job to be on The Mask, the movie The Mask.
So cool. And there's so many stories about it, but the secret of the secrets is really feeling it, and doing these awesome rituals, getting up in your game. So I didn't see any questions, Karen, and we're just a little bit over the 2-hour mark. What I want to do at this
virtual retreat, I loved it.
Yeah, it was really cool. I like virtual. And originally we were going to do a vision board party, but I was like, you know what? Everybody's talking about vision boards, and I'm like, I'm over it. And I do my vision boards, and I have so much wisdom to offer about
vision board is a personal thing, though. I think that's something that you should do, light candles and play good music and let yourself. I don't think that's something that you do as a group. I think that myself.
Right. And so I was like, you know what? Let's just give our best of the best strategies for how we show up for the new year. So what I wanted to offer everybody that has stayed on this long, and this is talk about like perfect imperfection. Like Karen and I, we collaborate for group coaching, and we are about to step into the retrograde. And if any of you guys don't know about the retrograde, or you've heard the buzzword, communication gets a little funky. And what we really do is we do it's a pretty intensive 21-day journey, which is funny because it's 21 days too, like Kelly's. But it's a 21-day journey. And
pathway in your brain.
Exactly. And it's transformational for not only us, but just the participants. So I was going to screen share real quick. And at this current moment, let's see if that works. It's probably going to go to my Facebook. Does it? I can't. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm not seeing that. Okay, hold on.
Right now.
Oh, wait, I got you. Hold on. See, this is me with my technology. So, okay, so I was on the wrong page.
It's all learning curves.
All learning curves. All right, so we'll go there. Okay. And then we're going to go here. And then I'm going to do this again. We're going to wrap around and do this again. Okay. So right there, so right underneath my name, you can see the mouse, right? Going?
Yes, I see the mouse.
Okay. Okay, cool. So right underneath my name, you can see MaureenSaladino.com right here. And right underneath the full moon releasing ceremony, there's a Mercury retrograde virtual program. And that's the program. And at the very bottom, and this is just still in honor of Wayne Dyer, I still have a 50% discount. So I'm going to offer that to anybody that stayed to the end and would like to join Karen and I for the group coaching that we are doing in January. So really good way to kick off the new year, get rid of some, how would you describe I'm going to stop the screen share. What would you describe was the biggest takeaway? Because we've been doing this, we've been doing this for a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really magical to see.
What's my biggest takeaway of our relationship of the 2000
program of group coaching together?
For my big takeaway is know your worth. Know what you bring to the table. Know that you are valuable and that you matter. Because the more you believe in how much your value is, the more you will attract people who are willing to pay you for your gifts.
Absolutely. So Yeah, and we create, I mean, it's a really amazing community of the vibe that we get. And you know, last time we took on 28 women, so it was 30 total, and it was just magical. It was really magical to see the transformation, the hope. You know, it really was amazing.
The breakthroughs were crazy.
Yeah, the breakthroughs were unbelievable. I mean, you can look at some of the testimonials in the sales copy, you'll see, you know, how much they learn and the shifts that they experience. It's on my testimonials, and I'm in the process at the end of the month working on a dual website. So we'll have all of our joint testimonials and our spiritual academy, all the things that we do together. So it'll be a one-stop shop for you guys. So I hope you guys join us. I really do. So I'm going to keep that 50% discount for, I don't know, we'll just do it for the next 48 hours. Why not? And yeah, for anybody that stayed to the end, and we appreciate you, and we would love, love, love to hear your feedback in the Raise Your Vibe tribe. You know, I'm going to post some things of, you know, and if you guys have questions, we're here to answer, you know, so don't be shy. You know, there's no stupid question, because more than likely somebody else is thinking the same thing. So, you know, you get what you put into it. So I bring Karen on. I'm like the person asking her all the questions, and I'm just so inquisitive. You know, I want to know. I'm like, oh, well, what do you think of this and this, that, and the other? So yeah, lean in on us. You know, let's have a wonderful, miraculous 2016. We get to start today in this very moment, and like seriously, appreciate you guys so much. And if there's a particular topic that you want any three of us to jump on one of these cool little virtual retreats, like, we're down, we're open to suggestions, we're open to receive, we're open to give back. So just reach out to us and let us know how we can support you best. You know, maybe there was something that really, you had an aha and you're like, oh, you know, can you guys share some insight on that? And we're like going to be like, oh, yay, when can we talk and share our guests some more, you know? Yep. And so it's really cool. So hopefully we see you in the retrograde program. If not, we'll see you in the Raise Your Vibe tribe. And then, you know, follow Karen's at Positively Pause 123, right?
That's me on Facebook. And then they can look me up as Mindful Media Mom.
Okay, Mindful Media Mom. And then my name, and then it's at Manifesting Mojo is my handle. So yeah, we're going to be doing Periscopes. We're having a lot of fun this year. So, you know, we've got our sandbox, and we've got toys, and we've got coloring books and swing sets and all sorts of good stuff this year going down. So
we do a lot of inner child work too. Yes. We do a lot of healing on the inner child. I'm also a neuro linguistic practitioner, so I teach you how to reprogram your brain.
And it works.
Fire it, yeah.
It works.
Totally. Look at me. I'm like a little kid. I'm like a little kid again. And I'm 47, you know. So,
they're going to start seeing the silly side of us, and we're silly all the time. Like, you know,
we're silly.
We're always.
Once you make peace with your inner child, then you can bring innocence and playfulness and fun to your business.
Yeah. So again, like, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was an absolute honor to be here. I appreciate you all so very much. And yeah, thank you for taking time out of your day. And whether it's now or on the replay, like I thank you. So I'll let Karen have the closing comments of what she'd like to share with you all.
I would just love to say to you that please invest in yourself and create the masterpiece that your life is asking you to create, and manifest the dream that is in your heart, and start to manifest it and bring it out into physical manifestation, because you deserve to have your dreams come true.
Thank you, Karen. So we love you all. We're signing off. So tune in to Karen.
We do our 5 o'clock Periscope, and if you want to pass again, we can do a pass on the readings. I do readings at 5:30. So if you want to do that, we can, but if you don't, it's no big deal. I'm going to do it anyway.
I think I might need some space right now. Downtown.
Okay.
If you see me on and I say yes, then we can do it.
All right.
All right, girlfriend. I love you so much.
I love you
so
too.
much, and I'll see everybody else in the Raise Your Vibe tribe. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year.
Thanks for making yourself important. Take time to watch the replay.
Love yourself. Bye.